You just received your COVID-19 assessment plan. I'm sure you got some questions. This is why we're here. Stay tuned. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Reza Rustari. I'm the Director of Undergraduate Education of the School of Dentistry at the University of Manchester. Thanks a lot for joining me on another episode of Manchester Molars Today. So this week our focus was on trying to get the online teaching back into full function, and we had lots of success. Many of the EBL sessions were going on, some of the clinical seminars were going on, and obviously as we're learning how to use the Zoom platform, things are getting better and faster, and everybody seems to get happier using the software and joining the online session. Thankfully, we haven't had any poor Jennifer episodes yet. You don't know what it is? Have a look.
Regardless of how long it's been versus like some other professions, say a few years or whatever. I think it really depends on just like the ethical standards of the profession. And in reality, I've heard that social work kind of has very high standards and like good standards in terms of things, and that oftentimes people of other professions don't have. Yeah.
Hold on.
What happened?
I saw nothing.
Oh my God.
Poor Jennifer.
Anyway, we had our SSLC with your student reps earlier on today. Please come and join me to see what was discussed.
I know there was lots of questions around weighting, and one thing is to bear in mind that we said in the assessment plan that we do need to do a comprehensive review. It's not something we can just quickly decide. We need to do all the mapping and psychometrics to make sure that's an appropriate weighting system for you. So that's why we've said by the end of April we should plan to be able to give you that. It shouldn't impact in terms of your exams at your session. You've got all the information that you need for your exams. It's just that we need time. As you can appreciate, I'm still at work at the Children's Hospital 3 days a week. We need time that we can liaise and do that appropriately for you, so it's the best. But no, it shouldn't have any impact on your ability to achieve honours or distinction, because I know you're all really keen in terms of getting really high grades, which is really good that we know that you want to achieve. So don't worry about that. You'll still be able to achieve those things that you need.
So yes, in terms of the clinical stuff, we will try and accommodate that. We'll have to, won't we?
Well, we'll see what. As everybody knows, the timetables are always very much compact, as it is. So we have to just kind of see where and how we can put that in. So it's the logistics of all of that, of trying to. The staff at the moment are making a note of everything that everybody is missing, so that we can see how much everybody's got to have put back into the timetable as best we can.
Yeah, be reassured, everybody's on your side. You know, nobody's doing it to upset any of the students in any of the years. It's a bit unprecedented time, so things will be a bit weird, but we'll work around it with you as well, hopefully.
But it was just asking about, do the exams have to be sat in one sitting, or can we come on and off simultaneously? And I think from what Dr. Reza said, it was fine for us to come on and off the system, and we can just log back in. And perhaps to Dr. Dixon, will the answers be saved, and then when we come back on, it'll be to carry on as...
I'm just testing the system, by the way. So Callie will test it for me as a student on Friday.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get examined and see if I can.
It's really simple.
I guess in terms of the formatting and everything, that will be just told to us in due course once you've figured it out.
Blackboard's got a few different features that we're currently running through at the moment. So you're basically, the plan will be you'll log on to Blackboard, and depending on which program we select is the most user friendly for you, it'll be on there. So
okay.
I know it's not a clear answer, but it'll be on Blackboard. It'll be easy to access, and we'll have tested, and there'll be a mock for you to try. So like a question that you can go on and kind of see how it works. So it's not the first time is the day of the week of the exam. So you'll get a chance to kind of get a feel of it.
I think some students were just unsure about if the questions would be different. The fact that it's an open book examination style, would it just be the same standard of questioning we would get in an exam?
Yeah.
I think, I mean, one student wanted to ask for a sample question, but I'm pretty sure it'd be just the same standard because...
So the exams, I basically got all the exams ready for every year before the school had closed down. So we were all prepared to go and sit these exams and kind of run them. So the exams have just been all assessed by the external examiners already, all approved, and it's just from there. And the ones that have a reduction, because you probably noticed there's a reduction in your questions, make it fairer for you, that those have just been chosen from there, and that you should be given a blueprint as well. So once they're kind of, I've got all of them from all the years, I'll release a blueprint, which you normally get for your MCQ, but you'll get a blueprint specifically for these exams. So we're trying to be as open as we can do that way, but I'm just collating it all at the moment, and then you should be able to have that information as well. But they're not any difficult, they're not any harder, they're not there to catch you out or anything. It's the same knowledge that we'd expect you to do, but you have the strange benefit of having an open book assessment, so it actually should be able to gain and have those answers.
And they just thought to ask if there's a specific time in the week that they'd have to sit the exam, or is it just start and finish date whenever, the whole week?
Whenever. So if they've got, someone couldn't go to their EBL today because they were painting with their parents, so if you had painting on Wednesday, that would be fine. You could sit the exam on Tuesday, but you do have that whole week to sit the exam.
Just one more thing on the Year 3 side. One of my EBL tutors said that they're implementing new EBL cases after the Easter term, dental EBL cases, and so just wondering, well, you addressed the blueprints thing, but are those EBL cases going to be examined? Not
no,
probably.
All the exam papers are all done now, so
any additional?
Yeah, I think it's just to kind of give you as much kind of teaching as possible, and seeing different restorative cases when you're not doing the clinical treatment on the clinic. It's just kind of a different, just to keep you thinking about restorative dentistry and thinking about things.
Okay.
Yeah, so starting off on a positive, I think everyone's very appreciative of what you guys are doing in my year group. And
that's kind of you.
So I'll tell you how many questions I have 14 questions. So
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm just going to rattle through them. Some of them have been repeated though, so don't shoot the messenger. I'm sorry. The biggest one people have is, are we going to be required to do 2 cases next year? Because people are really worried about the lack of clinical time that we're missing.
To be honest, I don't know. The reason I don't know, Oliver, is obviously this is a situation nobody was planning for. At the moment, our priority is for making sure that whatever is in immediate timeline is going to get handled. And what was immediate for us was your exams now. So we have to get the exams now out of the way. And then the next thing is awaiting. The next thing is going back on clinic. The next thing is about how many cases. So it's going to be a huge difference if you're all allowed to go back in September versus January. And I don't know, nobody knows. So this is something which is like, far in future. You guys, I hope you appreciate that we are doing our best to make sure your interest is at heart. The number of cases definitely wouldn't be an exception. So we'll definitely look into it depending on when we go back. Because at the moment we're assuming we go back in September. It may not be the case. Who knows? So we just have to wait.
Yeah, no, that's thank you very much for that. The next query people had is they worry about losing 6 months of clinics. Are there any plans in place at the moment for us to make up for this?
So as we've said with Reza there, the plans for the exams and kind of continue your teaching and utilising the online teaching there, we need to map out and plot when we know that when the schools are opening, to make sure that you will be able to achieve the learning outcomes, because we need to make sure that you have the appropriate time to feel and achieve those milestones. But we just need to plan it all out, and I think it would be foolish for us to put loads of work in for a start date that might just get moved back. Because if you know there's no dental treatment being provided across the whole country, so all dental practices, all operations have ceased apart from emergency care, of which people are being triaged. So it's really, we will do the best for you, and that is our priority across all years. But we just need to see how everything maps out in terms of workforce and what the planned dates are of opening and what the guidelines are.
I think the other thing, Oliver, just to say, is that the GDC have been very, very helpful with this current year 5 in saying that if you had a student that hadn't quite done what you wanted them to do, then you give them a development plan that they will take into foundation training. So they've already relaxed the rules, but said that we must be the gatekeepers to say that you're safe beginners, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the next question was mainly from the international students who have a very large fees to pay. And they're saying, is there no way they're going to be refunded because they don't feel like, obviously you guys are doing a lot, but because they're missing out on clinical time and that's what they pay for and they're not getting that. is the uni going to bend on that at all?
So it's a university statement, so it's not, we have no control in the dental school, so I think that's really important that you feed back to them. We can't make a wide-ranging decision and go, oh, yeah, we know it's really unfair, we can do this. It's completely out of our control, and on the university website at present it says that there will be no refunds as teaching has been transitioned online, and that's the standpoint that the university have just told us as well.
The next question was, if this all blows over sooner than we thought, is there any way? I don't know. Yeah. Is there any way we can come back in August?
No.
No. Not hope. Right. Write that down. The next question was, when exactly will the dentistry OSCE be? There was a lot of confusion with this because it says it will be in line with the SJT interviews.
What we were suggesting was that the dentistry OSCE is all about communication and talking to patients, and in essence that's how the mock DFT interview go. So it's a fairly easy thing for me to incorporate that, Carly, in that 2 or 3 month period. So we are aware of that. That's what I was saying to you this morning. We can actually incorporate it.
Yes, it might not be everyone down on ground floor restorative, actors in.
No, but it will certainly be all of you this year. I think Reza and I agreed with this, that everybody, should we say next year, has to do the mock DFT interview, whether or not they're doing foundation training.
Of course, because that'll be like our
But the reason for that is it's good exercise anyway. And secondly, now that we're doing this, Carly, I think it makes sense so that everybody will in effect have done the interview.
Yeah, okay. And then the next question was, are we going to graduate later? That's quite simple, that one.
Not later today. No, maybe
not later today. Will this affect our graduation date? Is that unclear?
It depends when you come back. If you came back in September, then no, I would say. But if you came back in January, I don't know.
Reza said in the past we're able to bring patients from outreach to the dental hospital, but when we come back in September we will no longer be at outreach, and the people that are going into outreach will probably require those patients. So will we be able to do that in September?
We were allowed to bring patients in from outreach. You just had to go to outreach at the beginning of the 5th year and just get their information and make sure everything was transferred securely. You're absolutely fine to carry them on.
Yeah, that's provided with the agreement of the outreach team there, all the stuff there, but it is quite easy, lots of students do it.
But people are asking, how does this no disadvantage policy work? Does that mean, for example, if you got a distinction in the CAT, then you're going to graduate this year with a distinction, or does this mean that this year will not count towards the attainment of an honours or distinction?
So the no disadvantage policy is actually across lots of different universities. So for example, Cambridge University have done the same thing, and dentistry is quite a unique one where lots of other degrees are all on credit basis. So you talk about your colleagues that might do geography or history, they have 120 credits, don't they? So it's on those ones to kind of balance over. In terms of here, yours is a little bit different because you're assessed as a whole over those years, and the weighting works slightly differently because you don't get credits per year. So we just need to work out what's going to be a fair assessment, and make sure that you can all achieve the honours if you want to. The package between the no disadvantages is that if you did a really bad essay, for example, and that grade was really poor, that doesn't, you just get your average of all your other grades. But with dentistry, we just need to work out the weightings to make sure.
Yes, it's not clear yet, so there's no answers to that at the moment.
Yeah.
I then had another question. Someone asked, is it possible for this individual to resit the year if they wanted to?
So if any students have got questions like that, it's probably better going through the pastoral lead of Rebecca and their year lead. And
then I had another one from numerous Kuwaiti students saying they're stuck in the UAE with barely any internet access, and it's revision's just not happening for them, or they can't get on Zoom. They just wanted to let you know.
So I've asked the year lead admins to collate where everyone is in the world for each year, find out what laptops, what computer facilities everyone got, what internet, and then we can be as fair as we possibly can for each student. I know some of the final year students have let me know where they are, the QA80 students, and for those students we said if you can't sit your exams in that time period, we will provide an opportunity that you can sit your exams, so you won't be penalised just because you're in quarantine or you've had to make a much longer journey home than quite a lot of their other cohort.
I think first of all, everyone just wanted to say thank you for trying so hard and doing so much. We were talking on the group chat yesterday and everyone was just like, please say thanks. Is there still going to be any kind of teaching over the Easter kind of break? Because obviously normally we wouldn't get any.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to carry on. I was having a look at the calendar now. We've just set up the new EBL sessions, which start tomorrow. I'm personally happy to carry on. I know some tutors are, some aren't. I don't know, but I think obviously we probably have, Easter Monday, Sunday off. But your time is precious, isn't it? You've only got 5 weeks, and I think to take 2 weeks off is too much. So from my point of view, I'm happy, but I obviously can't speak to everyone.
Yeah, I said this the other day a bit, like, all these things, those sort of options you can drop in and out to please. So
from our point of view, time is precious for you guys. So the short answer is from our point of view, yes, we'll carry on.
Didn't, because obviously we've missed a couple of weeks anyway. I think people are worried about missing a couple more. But I think if a lot of it is made kind of optional, or if there's some specific revision sessions or whatever that people want to put on, if you just send us all an email, and then people
we are doing, and because tomorrow morning we've got one, so we'll do that.
Yeah, and I think if we're going to record them anyway, then that's okay. So if you didn't want to actually be live on it, you could go back to it and just watch how the participation went on, during the things. So what you don't want to do is disadvantage anybody.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, just about actual exams. Normally we find the results out after we've done this unseen. Are we still going to find them out quite pretty soon afterwards, or is it?
Carly's got that answer, I think.
So today I was corresponding with the external examiners. So obviously they'd received the plan last week, but kind of confirming that it's all been disseminated to you guys. So what I've asked for this is the final year's one. I'll tell you about the exam date for the others. So that there's a diet 1, isn't there? So there's an exam. So that's when we want the majority of you to be able to sit your exam. And at the end of that, we will be able to release the results of that. So I've planned and asked them to be available for an exam board on the Friday
of that
week. So it kind of mirrors exactly what you were going to have before. Yep. If there are candidates that can't sit their exam, then obviously they will be in the following weeks, and we'll probably amalgamate the diet 2. And if we have any need to do anything further, and it will be in either the Friday of that week or the Monday, they'll kind of roll on, they'll kind of mirror each other each week that way.
I just came from a faculty meeting about student experience, and I think everybody was a bit upset the way that everybody got told that there would be no graduation, as if it was the end of the world. And I think a lot of people at that felt that we should somehow some virtual graduation or something. So if you can think about what would be nice, whether we all put fake gowns on and prance around the front room, something like that. But it would be nice to do. Something, wouldn't it? Because otherwise it's just been it fizzles out. So if you've got any ideas, I think the faculty would be very keen to hear them.
Also for the SAP, I know you said it's just like a normal setup. Do we have to reference in it? No, okay. Referencing in the written cases that were given.
You can reference where you've got the sources from, if you want to. I will go through it. I'll do a little PowerPoint on kind of what we would expect or how you can write your answers.
You said in the email earlier, Dr. Dixon, you've only marked on both the write-up and the interview. Is it 50-50 weighted? Or how is it going to work exactly?
So the reason why you're marked on both sides of it is sure that, for example, if a student didn't perform as well as they might have wanted to do on the day, they might be unwell, or they thought they could do the exam. For example, I'm not using an example with it, but you're not very well at the moment, and if you sat it today, you might not be as you would have wanted to be. But we've got that reference and we've got that knowledge to kind of showcase that way. So then marking, we'll send out a weighting marking to kind of show you how it'll be.
I think also when we're doing the 30-minute actual interview, people have been asking, are we allowed our notes in front of us?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So you can just be there,
Yeah, so what I'm planning to do is having like the share screen. So for example, if we were asking you to discuss something and it was a picture or a radiograph, we could share the screen, so that would pop up in front of you, so you would have exactly the same questions that we'd want that way. I've been liaising with the specialty leads, so that should all be kind of up and coming.
And will those pictures be based on kind of the cases that we've already been given? So like if it was the peds and also it'd be the x-rays that had already been given for the write-up?
Yeah.
But no, I think people were just like shocked because obviously it's so different to what we expected. But I don't think anyone's going to actually utilize Google for real things.
Could I clarify, guys? So, in year 5, one of the things which we are really trying to assess is your deep level of understanding. This kind of deep level of understanding is not something you can find in Google. So if it was knowledge base, I say, like, for example, nobody's going to ask you what's the percentage of this or what's the percentage of that. These are pure knowledge recall and you're not being assessed on that. But I would like to see, for example, how you're going to incorporate a specific medical history into management of a specific restorative need. There's no way you can find these kind of things in Google, and that's what you're being assessed.
One thing to note, which I said to the year 5s, is when the exam papers have been released, so when they go live on Blackboard, you won't be allowed to contact any staff to ask any questions or any queries. So you can't go to your EBL tutor, you can't go and email Prof Gray about a question that way, because that would be unfair on the rest of your cohort and would be unfair. So
should we take Sarah first then?
Yeah, no, all fine, thank you, all good.
So, nothing to report?
No, nothing, all fine. As far as I know, I asked, but nothing.
So you're the only one that's had nothing to. I think that's really good. I think that's a green card, to be honest.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's been we've had a few things from the year. Most stuff sort of been covered. The only thing.
Dan, sorry, can I just interrupt? While in between leaving your meeting and now, I've spoken to Carly, and she's going to come and talk to the BSc groups to discuss the exams and to answer the questions you're asking just now. That's all right. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Anything we can do to help you with year 1? Anything you need to let us know about?
I think most things have been covered, but someone wanted to know whether the exams are going to include the content that went online.
Rebecca, our Sky Sports presenter.
You're just jealous of my headphones. So it's the whole year.
Okay.
Because the online stuff is trying to replace the stuff that you would have had face to face.
Okay.
So the exams are the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about it was people with DAS support. Obviously these exams are quite strange, and a lot of students, examples, one with mild dyslexia, aren't too worried, but other people with other disabilities are confused as to how that will be implemented into these exams.
Yeah. So we've been in touch with DAS all along, and we'll be working with them to make sure that nobody's disadvantaged.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And tailoring it to what their problem is.
So we've been told that we'll be tested now on anatomy in 3rd year. We were wondering which exams would the anatomy knowledge be tested in, and how much anatomy would we actually be tested on?
So if you look at the assessment schedule, it says that for your anatomy, you'll be informed in September following Stefan's review of what anatomy you're going to be taught. It's going to be anatomy that would be essential and would be required as a dentist. Key skills that we'd expect you to have lifelong knowledge with.
So are the year 2s expecting another spotter?
No.
That's the knowledge, or would it be in form of MCQ or SAP or something?
It will be incorporated into the normal exam schedule that you would have in year 3. So you're not going to have an additional exam in year 3 that's randomly created just for your year.
Okay, so with that, then, for those that I won't see, have a good Easter break. See you in the first week with Teresa will Zoom us in, and have a good evening. Yeah, take care.
Stay safe.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See you later, guys. Bye-bye. Now that you feel a lot better about your exams, how about I leave you with Malika to tell you how to make a blueberry cake. Malika, they're all yours. amazing food is great, but don't forget to exercise. I'm going to take you to Dylan, who has developed its virtual running club. How amazing is that? Okay, I'm going to take you to Dylan and Emma to tell you all about this new running club, and you can join. So let's give them a call. Hi Emma, hi Dylan. How are you both?
Not bad.
Hi,
Rita.
Hi. So, Dylan, we've been told that despite all this isolation, you're setting up this amazing running club. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, do you want to tell Manchester Molar all about this, please?
Sure. It's an extension of Athletic Identico, the football team. The idea was basically to encourage primarily the footballers to keep fit, but then kind of the thought progressed that, well, the best way to do that is to have a bigger community, get everyone involved, just helps to encourage more people to get out and move. So we've got a few former students, we've got Simon from reception, Thomas as well, and a few other non-dental students, so it's going really well. I actually convinced Emma to swap over from her My Run to Strava, which is where the running club Dentico club is. So I think Emma's just going to mention a bit from her perspective.
That sounds fab. Emma, do you want to show us what you've been doing, please?
Yeah, so Dylan, like you said, convinced me to move over to Strava, and it's actually really good because I can see how the other people in the group are doing, and kind of encourages you to go out, because usually I would run with somebody else, but obviously I'm isolated, so I'm alone, so I can't do that right now. So I'm just going to show you on the screen what the app looks like and the club that Dylan created as well.
Yes, please. I'm sure everybody now is looking forward to see how it is. So while Emma is getting ready, Dylan, so how are you doing with the running? Are you quite fast?
Not so much. I was training there for a marathon which got cancelled because of the coronavirus. So I had a good little level of fitness, but I'm trying to get a bit quicker over shorter distances now.
All right, very good, very good. So Emma, are you ready for us?
Yeah. Okay, so this is what the app looks like. This is the desktop version. And just like any other running app, you can log your walks, your runs and things like that. But if you go on to explore and click on the clubs that you've joined, you can see the only one that I'm part of, which is Dylan's running club Dentico. So from there you can see everybody involved, there's a leaderboard, and when you look at it on your phone, it kind of shows you in a linear pattern how you're doing that week. But it's just something to kind of motivate you to go out, because you want to compete against everyone else. And we even managed to get Neil Patel on board, and Dylan said that that's quite unusual because he doesn't usually like to do any running. So we've got him on board, and we can comment on his activity as well and anybody else's. So
is that Dr. Neil Patel, or is it Neil Patel?
No, it's the Neil Patel.
The Neil Patel.
Neil Patel. Yeah, so that's him. Let me try and find Neil's Strava. There we go, so there's Neil. So if you find anybody that you follow on the dashboard, you can put little notes of encouragement, like me and Dylan have done for Neil, and hopefully that'll help him get a little bit faster.
That looks fantastic. I'm sure lots of people are now going to be very keen. Dylan, have you got any other words before we say goodbye to both you and Emma?
Yeah, sure. Just basically the take-home message from RC Dentico is that it doesn't matter how fast you run, how far you run. The main thing is to just get out and enjoy that government-approved exercise. Hopefully you'll join us too, Reza.
I will do my best, but I haven't run for a long time. All right, guys. So I hope you both enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you later.
Thank you, Reza.
Bye-bye. That was great. I'm sure you are excited to join this new running club if you are into running. Now, I'm sure you, after a while, run out of ideas for dinner. So how about I leave you with Megan to show you an amazing recipe. Megan, take them away.
Hi, it's Megan, and I'm going to show you how to make a really easy chickpea and green lentil dal. So you'll need some spinach, olive oil, curry powder, ground cumin, pepper, about 10 to 15 cherry tomatoes chopped in half, tin of coconut milk, sea salt, some soy sauce or tamari, a tin of chickpeas, 1 chopped onion or some spring onions, 400 grams of cooked lentils, a thumb-sized piece of ginger, about 3 cloves of garlic and 1 lime. First heat 1 tablespoon of oil, then add your garlic, ginger and onion. Next add in the chopped tomatoes and just let it all cook for a couple of minutes. Next add in a tin of coconut milk, then 400 grams of cooked lentils. Add a can of chickpeas that have been drained and rinsed. Add about 2 tablespoons of curry powder and about 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. Add a tablespoon of soy sauce or tamari, about a teaspoon of sea salt, and add some pepper in too. Then add about a handful of baby spinach and bring it to the boil. Then leave it to simmer for a couple of minutes. Then you can take it off the heat and add some lime juice. So this is the finished dal. As you can see, it's really quick and easy to make, and I usually just have it with some rice. Thank you for watching and hope you like the recipe.
So that is it. We come to an end of another episode of Manchester Molars. Until next time, I've been Reza Rutsari. You've been amazing. See you all next Thursday.